when you say it like that.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am not pregnant anymore. I had baby girl almost 3 months ago tomorrow, August 21st at 11:32 a.m. So I will get into my birth story in a little bit. I'm also going to update you guys on my hospital bag and what I brought and what was useful. Okay, so for my hospital bag, so if I keep looking down, it's because I wrote a little list because I didn't want to forget anything. Some stuff that I brought with me, the charger, I definitely used that. Dylan and I both used that. That was definitely very useful. For things in my toiletry bag, I brought a razor, shampoo, conditioner, body wash, face wash. I brought my own towel. All that I used, and all that was, I was so happy that I brought all that. My toothbrush, toothpaste. I was just so happy because after I delivered, all I wanted to do was take a shower. Like, that's all I wanted to do. I'm so glad that I brought my own body wash, my own face wash, because then I just felt so much better after I took a shower. It just felt refreshed, clean. I was still exhausted, but I felt so much better. So I'm so glad I brought all that. I would definitely recommend bringing your own toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner, body wash, face wash, whatever you use in the shower, whatever makes you feel good at home. I would recommend bringing it, just the basics, nothing too extra or anything like that. Oh, and my own towel. I was really happy that I brought my own towel too, because like I said in my previous videos, the towels that they have at the hospital aren't very big. They're very short for some reason. They're not very big. That's one thing, and they're not soft. They just don't feel good. I did use their washcloths, which they were fine. They had some that were actually kind of soft, so I was happy about that. And then I did actually use one of their towels. So I used the one for the hospital for my hair, because that's not really a big deal. What else? Chapstick. I definitely used the chapstick, and I'm glad I brought that, because like I said in my other video, I hate when I have chapped lips and I don't have anything for it, and I just keep licking them, and it's irritating and it does not feel good, and all I can think about is chapstick. I brought essential oil. I did use that a little bit. Didn't really do much. I didn't really think it would, but like I said, I was gonna try it. I tried it. I did bring the makeup. I did use it after I had her. After I took a shower, I kind of just chilled because she slept a lot that when she was that first day that she was born, which is to be expected. So all three of us took a picture, so I was glad I got that, and I didn't look too rough. I still looked a little rough, but it wasn't that bad. So the comfy clothes that I brought, I think I wore the shorts. I couldn't wear the shirt. The shirt was still too small and too tight, and it was not comfortable, so I didn't wear that. If you are bringing t-shirts or whatever, bring something that fits you while you're pregnant, because that's what's gonna fit after, if for the most part. Some girls probably shrink back down super fast, but for me, I didn't. It probably took me 3 weeks, I want to say, until I was actually getting down. I think by 1 month I lost a total of 15 or 20 pounds, so still getting there. Now I just need to work out. I mentioned the water bottle. I didn't use mine. I thought I would, but I didn't. They actually gave me this at the hospital. Just has the lid and then the straw. I really liked this. I still use it to this day. So I used that, filled it up with a lot of ice and water. So that was good. What else? My own pillow and blanket. I'm very glad I brought my own pillow and blanket. Because during my labor, which I'll get into, like I said, I just wanted to be comfortable, and after when I had her, I was still I was pretty still uncomfortable. I was like very sore. I was still super swollen. I still couldn't really lay on my back because I felt like I couldn't breathe. Um, so I had to lay on my side and with my, like, I don't know. But I was glad that I had my pillow and blanket because that helped me get more comfortable, definitely. Um, what else? Comfy nursing bra. So I used that. I think I used it like when I got out of the shower. And I used it going home. So that was good. It was really good because it was really comfortable and super soft. So I'm glad I brought that. I didn't bring the one where where the clasps come down and then you can breastfeed. I just brought the like pullover one when you just pull it down and you can breastfeed. But I just took. I'm pretty sure I just took it off completely. I took that off and my shirt because first time mom, like trying to breastfeed, it's very difficult, like trying to get the position, trying to get baby to latch, like all of that. So I just was trying to be like as comfortable as it could be. Took it off. I was like not trying to mess with my shirt being in the way, the bra being in the way. I just didn't care. I was just trying to get it figured out. What else? I did not bring the boppy. I didn't bring it. I didn't want to lug that around with everything else that I had. And now I don't wish that I brought it. I don't regret not bringing it. I had, when I was breastfeeding her, you like, when you first start breastfeeding, you do need a lot of pillows just to help you get a good position, and you want to be like straight up and down. You just need a lot of support around you. So I mean, the boppy probably would be helpful, but I don't regret not bringing it. I don't really mind that I didn't bring it. The nursing tank top that I brought with me, I did not wear. I think I wore that home because the shirt that I brought to wear home didn't fit me. And I don't think Dylan had an extra t-shirt for me to wear. So I think I just wore that, which is fine. And then I wore the sweatpants that I had in my bag. The like always what I call them like depends. They're called always discreet underwear. I did not use those in the hospital, but I am so glad that I bought them because I used them at home when I was and surprisingly, because I said that it didn't really work very well, but I did use the mesh underwear and the pads that the hospital gave me, and I actually liked those pads from the hospital better than the ones that I had bought. And oh, the swaddles. So the swaddle that I had packed with me and the baby's diaper bag was this exact one actually, and it's the Velcro, so you don't have to worry about like I said, manually swaddling them. She did get swaddled in the hospital blankets, but I actually did use this. I use this quite a bit in the hospital. It was very just convenient because I didn't have to worry about trying to swaddle her and all that. I used this and we loved it. But when she came home, when she came home for maybe about like 2 weeks, and then I remember that I had this one, and we actually switched to this. It's a zipper one, and oh my gosh, I love this one. I did not after I switched to this, we stopped using the Velcro ones. She actually didn't really like the Velcro ones that much. She much preferred the zip ones. And what I really like about the zip ones too is that you don't have to totally unswaddle them because it has two zippers, and you can zip from the bottom up. You can just get their legs out, and if you have the sleeper that zips from the bottom up, so easy. Diaper change in the middle of the night, so easy. I loved this. And now actually they make them, that's the newborn one, but they do make them in bigger sizes, and this is what we use now. She's almost sadly she's almost too big for this one. This is from 8 to 13 pounds. When she went to her 2-month doctor visit, I think she was 12 pounds 9 ounces. So she's almost too big for this. She's actually growing out of it, but I've ordered some new ones on Amazon a size bigger. That's these. I love these so much. So that's why I just went on a little rant about them. Baby book, I did bring it out, I did ask the nurse if they could stamp her feet in it when they took her to get her footprints. I was so tired, like I realized that they didn't take it, and I was just like, oh well, I don't really care. So we just got the like card with her footprints on it, and we were just like, we can just put that in the book or whatever, so that's fine. And her diaper bag had like a cute like flower swaddle that I said I was going to take pictures in, like a little headband bow, and then the nightgown. Didn't use the nightgown, but I did use the swaddle, the flower swaddle, and the headband bow. I took cute pictures with that, so I was happy that I brought that. I was really actually excited and looking forward to doing that, so I am glad that I brought that because I took some cute pictures. The food that I bought, I didn't really use any of it. What I did eat from home was Ritz crackers and peanut butter, but that wasn't, I didn't show you guys that. I think I had thrown that in the hospital bag later. So that's pretty much it with that. So I'm gonna get into my birth story. So I did get induced. I got induced at 30 weeks and 2 days. I went to my 40-week doctor appointment at exactly 40 weeks. My doctor was like, so, like, what are your thoughts? Like, do you want to get induced? Like, do you want to wait it out? She gave me the choice to get induced. I said, yes, please. Like, I was so uncomfortable. I stopped working on August 5th, I believe. So I stopped working at 38 weeks. I just could not do it anymore. Being a nurse, walking around so much. Like, I had the easiest day, the last day that I worked, and it was way too much. Like, my back hurt so bad, my feet hurt. I was just plain out exhausted at the end of the shift, and it was an easy shift. And I was like, after that shift, I was like, I cannot do this anymore. So I actually got my doctor to write me a note to stop working because I was like, I can't, like, so that was at 38 weeks, not at 40 weeks. So at 38 weeks, I stopped working. I got a note. Told my work, I was like, cannot work anymore, sorry, be back after maternity leave, basically. My 40-week appointment, I was told I could get induced. I got induced the following day. I had to go in at 9 p.m. So Dylan and I, it was a Wednesday, we ate dinner at my dad's, hung out with my dad, and then we left for the hospital. I think it was like around 8, got to the hospital at 9, got all checked in. They gave me Cervidil that night, helps soften your cervix. And then the next morning, they started me on Pitocin. So then that following morning, I got my IV started with Pitocin, and labor started. So then they told me that I could eat a light breakfast. Like I said, I think I had toast and a little bit of fruit. And I think that was really it. And I couldn't eat anything after that. It had to be clear liquids. I stuck it out for a while, not that long. They started my Pitocin, I think it was like around 9 a.m. I did end up getting an epidural, so that's, yeah. I don't know, it was probably early afternoon, like 12 or 1 o'clock, maybe 2 when I got the epidural. I know it was in the afternoon, but I don't know what time. So I did, I was sticking it out. I was doing fine. I was kind of just like breathing through it. And then my doctor prescribed me what's called a TENS unit. I was trying to use that, but the contractions were just getting like too much, and I couldn't like open my eyes. I couldn't like talk. I couldn't like do anything like during the contractions. Like they were just getting worse and worse. So I was talking to Dylan, and I was like, I think I want to do the epidural. Like, get the nurse, because I didn't want to wait too long and then not be able to sit through the epidural and having contractions and not being able to sit still. So I was thinking about that, and so I asked if he could get the nurse or she could come in, like kind of explain it to me a little bit more, make sure I like wouldn't feel like how opioids make you feel, and she reassured me that no, I wouldn't. And when the anesthesiologist came in, he asked me if I had any more questions, and it was just super nice. He did it so fast. I had a contraction right before he did it, and then when he did it, I didn't have any contractions. It might have been like starting, and then as soon as he was done, like, it was so fast. I was so surprised, and I was so happy. It did not hurt, and I was, oh my gosh, I was so glad that I got the epidural, because I ended up being in labor for 24 hours. My cervix took so long to dilate to 10 centimeters. I swear I was stuck at 9 for so long. Finally, at, I think it was like, oh, I don't even know what time. I think it was like 7:30, 8 o'clock. They told me I could start pushing, but like before then, they were like, you're gonna feel like the need to like poop. So when you feel that, let us know, because then you can start pushing. And I never felt it. I never felt it. Even through like when I was pushing, never felt it. So that was kind of, yeah. I ended up pushing for 3 hours. 3 hours. Oh my gosh, I was so exhausted at the end. And they ended up having to use a vacuum assist to get my daughter out. They told me that because she was like right there, but she couldn't get like through all the way. Just, I don't know, it just was not happening. And I think it was because I like did not feel that urge to push, and I don't know if it's because of the epidural or what, but it was crazy. So anyways, that was like a whole big thing, because after I was pushing for 3 hours, they were like, okay, well, we need to start thinking about like what we're gonna do or what you want to do, and they were telling me like the vacuum extraction and C-section, and I was freaking out. I was talking to Dylan and I talked about it like briefly. It wasn't like we had this whole long drawn out thing, but I was like, what should we do? Like, I don't know. And he was like, we should probably go like the most non-invasive way and do the vacuum extraction. And they were like, well, there's risks with that. And with the vacuum extraction, like the vacuum can only pop off the baby's head a total of 3 times. And if it pops off more than 3 times and she can't get out, then we're gonna have to push her back up in you and do a C-section. So I was freaking out inside my head. I was like, oh my gosh, like, because then that would cause like even more trauma for her and for me. And I was just like, oh my gosh, please, 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 please don't happen. So they started the vacuum assist, which is just like a suction cup they put on their head. I didn't see what it looked like, but it's like a big suction cup they put on their head. They pump it up, and then they like are able to, like, it suction cups their head, and they can like kind of pull them out while you're pushing. So we did that. It popped off once. I was like, oh my gosh. It's like, okay, this probably happens. Like, it probably pops off once at least, and then we get them out. So they put the suction back on her head. I pushed, and and so while I was like freaking out about that, because I didn't want them to have to push her back up in me and do a C-section, because that's scary enough. She had meconium in her, like, while she was in me, which is not good. It can get into their lungs and cause long-term lung problems and all this stuff. So they had the NICU team there, so they had to take her right away when she came out. And so anyway, so then I was pushing. They had the vacuum suction on her. It popped off again, and I was like, oh my gosh. By then I was crying, because if it popped off a 3rd time, and then I was just like, no, and I was so scared. So they put it on again, and I just like pushed with everything in me. There were so many people there. My eyes were shut, so I don't know, like, but I could hear them all, because they were all like cheering me on, basically, like telling me I could do it and like everything. And she's right there. Do you want to feel her head? So I felt her head, and I pushed, and they had the vacuum thing on. She finally came out, but the NICU team did have to take her right away. They cut the umbilical cord. Dylan couldn't cut it. I was kind of sad about that, but they took her, but she ended up being fine. So I was just so grateful for that. I was so happy. Then I finally got to hold her, and it was just the best thing ever. It really was. I was so happy because it was just such a long labor, and I was just at the end I was so exhausted and I was scared out of my mind because I didn't want anything to happen like to her lungs, and I didn't want them to have to push her back up in me and do a C-section. That just sounds so scary. So I'm so glad that she was okay. She did end up getting, her head was really red for like days, and then she had a hematoma. So yeah, I ended up getting the epidural, and I'm so happy that I did, and baby girl is fine. Was just great. And I think, after I had her, they give you this Perry bottle. You fill it up with water, and then you squirt. Oh, it still has water in it from when I washed it. Yikes. So you just like fill it up with water, and then you squirt it down there after you pee, because you do not want to wipe it. It hurts. It's so sore. Oh my gosh. And then they gave me, like I said, I used that mesh underwear and the pads that they have. They also give you these pads it's like ice, and you crack it, and then you run a little bit of water on it, and it stays cold. And oh my gosh, it is the best thing after you have a vaginal delivery. It felt so good. Like I was hurting so bad down there. I was so sore. I was so swollen from pushing for 3 hours. So it was great. Also, I was constipated before I even went to the hospital, and then after having her, I still didn't poop, so they had to put me on a stool softener. And that first poop, let me tell you, if this is TMI, I'm so sorry, but it hurt like hell. Like, because I could feel that I had to go, but I was so scared to like push it out because I felt like I was gonna pop open. Like, I tore, so I had to get stitches, so that was already uncomfortable. I had a hemorrhoid from pregnancy, and then pushing for 3 hours made that worse, so it was just so bad. Oh my gosh, it was horrible. Finally, like right before we left, I was able to go, but I was basically in tears, like on the toilet. It hurt so freaking bad. Ugh, oh my gosh. Anyways, then after I stopped using the Perry bottle, which was probably like, I probably stopped using this 4 weeks to a month after I had her, and then I just went to the like flushable wipes, which I used for up until like 6 to 8 weeks, honestly, because like I said, I had stitches, and it took me a little bit to heal like completely. Like, by, I don't know, 3 weeks, I was finally feeling better down there, like all the way, but it was still sore if I sat for a long period of time, and I still had the stitches, so I used that. And I did want to update you guys on my hospital bag, what I brought, and what was useful, what I liked to use, and then what I didn't so much use. Which is only a couple things. And then I wanted to tell you guys about my birth story because it was just crazy to me. And I wanted to let you guys know that I did get the epidural, and I'm so happy that I did. And yeah, oh, there's one more thing. So with the whole COVID thing, if you're gonna have a baby soon, and like the whole COVID thing is still scary, it's still very much a thing, as much as people want to think it's not, or some people don't want to wear masks. Like, just being a nurse and seeing everything inside the hospital, it just kind of irritates me that people think that they don't need to wear masks, or they want to like be so above it, or not think that COVID is actually a thing and that it's all made up. It's not. People are really dying from this stuff, and it's just so crazy how it can affect different people different ways, even people that don't have underlying medical conditions. Anyways, so with all that, I did not have to be in labor. I did not have to wear a mask while I was in labor. We did wear masks every time staff came into the room, but like when my labor started, I didn't have the mask on. They did COVID test me before, like right when I got admitted. I was negative. But even if I was positive, they wouldn't have made Dylan go home, and they wouldn't have taken my baby from me. So that, like, and I asked that like at my last doctor's appointment because I wanted to make sure. They would have just worn more stuff. They would have worn N95, face shield, a gown, gloves, and then a surgical mask over the N95. So they would just be more protected. And what else? Oh, and Dylan was able to leave the hospital to go get food or do whatever he wanted to do. He only left to get us food. So, yeah, they honestly was not that bad. My experience was awesome, actually. Like, it was a really good experience. So, yeah, just wanted to update you guys. So, if you liked this video and if it was helpful, then like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.